Welcome to the prestigious museum of Mickey Loomis's worst decisions, where good decisions rarely make sense.
What the fuck is that? Is that AI? Did you have AI do that
Mickey
video?
Loomis.
Wow. Did you have AI do that Mickey Loomis thing?
Maybe I did.
Yes.
Wow! Wow! Oh, whoa!
That looks terrifying.
Whoa! Whoa!
We've torched a forest just to
Don't
make
worry,
this
you'll see terrifying
Wow.
soon, man. You'll see terrifying soon. Don't worry, man.
I
Whoa!
feel like
If you're not on the YouTube,
Thomas-
you got to see this. We did a Mickey Loomis.
Whoa.
terrible ideas,
Whoa.
terrible decisions, dude. Andrew, that felt like Disney's Haunted Mansion, but Saints themed. It really did.
Yeah, that's what this is. That's exactly.
He's
what
moving
this
now.
is.
Look at him.
This is crazy. That is wild.
Wow.
The only thing that's missing is he's not chewing gum.
I fucked up, yeah.
That's all
I
right,
did
Tomas.
suck up. Yeah.
So Thomas,
Wow. Well, he's definitely going to listen to this now.
explain to the people how the bracket works,
AI
because
Mickey Loomis.
the Mickey Loomis decisions that we put in there / ideas are long, and it's very hard to make a bracket. So explain to the people the bracket. The bracket.
Yeah, so
and
as you
matchup
as
work.
some of you can see, the names may not make sense for now. I'm gonna give you an idea because the names were too long. I tried to shorten them. Like, give every painting a name. You know what I mean? So, for example, the first one, the number 1 seed, is called Masseuse Attraction. So, what do you think it is, guys? Any ideas?
Oh, we know what it is. Oh, we know what
Something
that
to
is.
do with Deshaun Watson. So number 1 is wanting to trade for Deshaun Watson, and it is called Masseuse Attraction. And number 16 seed is Big Fish Fetish. So what it is, guys?
That's
Troutman.
Adam Troutman. I'm not a big fish guy.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm not a
sir.
big
Yes,
fish
sir.
guy.
So every painting has a name. So now we know what it is. In the
I
bracket.
do want to say we've done a few brackets over the years with Thomas, and your boy Alan in the chat. I want to emphasize and what he says. He says fire graphics, and I think I agree.
This is incredible.
I think Thomas, you've outdone yourself. I like the
is
graphics on this.
incredible.
I like the bracket. This is not just your average bracket. You've got the gold screwed on little nameplate trophy plates, and then you've got the
nameplate,
3D
good.
Mickey, the 3D Mickey
Mickey
Loomis,
with his head moving. His head
the
his head
AI.
moving is,
This is wild. Yeah, you've gotta. If you're again, I hate to say this, but if you're not watching us on YouTube,
You got to watch it on YouTube.
you've got to
Yeah,
see
so-
this. Mickey Loomis
look,
is
Dave doesn't
AI
like
Mickey
compliments.
Loomis.
Dave
Yeah,
does not like
it is.
compliments.
I don't.
It's creepy and erotic, strangely enough.
And it's not erotic in whatsoever. I'm not sure why Ralph just said that. It's not erotic in any shape, fashion, or form.
Not to you.
Not sure why he said that.
All right, Thomas. So give us the first matchup.
All right, let's see the first matchup.
Just look at these wise decisions. Wanting to trade for Deshaun Watson, or trading all those picks for Adam Troutman.
Wait, what the hell? Did you do the Hall of? Did you do the AI stuff for all this? This is crazy! Wow, this is crazy!
Yeah,
What
we
is
tore-
going on?
Tomas torched Poland's last big forest just to make all these AI images.
This is freaking crazy!
Best
Whoa,
graphics
what-
in the history of any podcast. See, when you
Whoa.
invest in a podcast and we become the best podcast in Louisiana 3 years out of 4, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Yep. Your boy
Dude,
Alan.
I mean, like, there's no visual component to the best podcast award, unfortunately. But I'm going to give the early lead to us if there was. Holy
Yeah.
shit, there was. Crazy.
Yeah, wait. So are we voting? Like right
We
now?
are, but
Yeah.
But hold on,
But
I still
Andrew-
can't get over the fucking.
I'm ready to vote.
I still
I'm
can't
ready to
get
vote.
over. No, I
I
still
can't get over the graphics.
these
Like Adam
graphics.
Troutman,
Yeah,
like smiling at me. It's
Look,
very.
what is going on?
You know what?
No,
You know
but they're
what?
moving. This is crazy.
I feel like Deshaun Watson was obviously a terrible decision. It was a terrible choice. It was a terrible rabbit hole to go down. But you know what? Mickey tapped out. he was like, "Oh, you're gonna guarantee a salary for the entirety of the deal? Yeah, okay. Congratulations, Cleveland. You've got your guy. We're out." Troutman was a worse deal because not only did he give up a ton of picks to get a tight end that absolutely sucked, was not playable, was a aggregate like losing strategy.
Andrew, let me remind people what they gave up. I want to give Kevin an aneurysm.
For pennies on the dollar.
I want to give Kevin an aneurysm.
Yeah,
when they traded for Troutman, they gave up a 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. That was pick 130, 169, 203, and 244.
Yeah,
for Troutman.
Maybe Watson would have been more crippling in terms of finances or whatever, but we'll never know because it never happened. Like
What do you mean we'll never know? Look, what do you mean by this is okay?
I watched Troutman jump
my mouth shut
on 4th and 5, like from the 2-yard line, 4th and goal, and then it became 4th and 7 because he jumped off sides. I watched Troutman drop a ball in the end zone that hit him straight through the hands, into his face mask, and through his freaking crotch. Okay, like Troutman sucked. He was the worst tight end we've ever had. I witnessed that. I lived it. It was horrible. And you know what? I don't know what Watson would have done. It would have been awful. But I had Derek Carr anyway, and Troutman was worse. It was worse than Derek Carr. It was worse than what we would have gotten with Watson. I'm going with the 16th seed. Major upset. UVA losing in the first round. I hate UVA, by the way. UVA losing in the first round of the basketball thing. Major upset. I'm going Troutman.
I'm not a big fish guy.
All right.
Andrew almost convinced me. You almost convinced me, Andrew. But
he might have convinced me. I don't know. I'm not sure yet.
You know what, Andrew? You did.
I still can't get over. Well, first of all, Andrew's not there. Second of all, I still can't get over it. What app did you use for this, Thomas? What's going on? What is this?
By hand, man. By hand.
Oh my gosh, this is.
I drew every frame by hand, man.
Sorry.
I want to go Troutman. I want to go Troutman.
I don't know, man. The paintings just went alive, man.
But I can't.
It's fucking crazy.
But I can't. This is incredible. But I can't because I can't go Troutman because here's the thing. If the Saints had traded for Deshaun Watson, it would have been 3 number 1 picks and a disaster and Dennis Allen. We're in the Saints, the Dennis Allen era, it's in the rear view, Kevin. Like, he's gone. Derek Carr retired. Like, they're going to have cap space next year. They're going to have a ton of cap space in 2027. It's done. Like, it's all, like, as bad as you think the Derek Carr DA era was, it's over with. If they'd have got Deshaun Watson, we wouldn't have dug out of this until 2027, 2028 at the earliest. So I wanted to go Troutman. Andrew made a compelling argument, but I'm not. I'm going Watson.
1-1.
So the picks that the Saints traded to move up. Oh my God!
I told you it was horrific.
The picks ended up being James Lynch, defensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Hand, a cornerback.
Fun name.
Blake Brandell, an offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And TJ Brunson, an outside linebacker.
They probably all amounted to nothing. Just like Trout.
I will say this. Blake Brandell is still on the Minnesota Vikings team, despite being drafted in 2020. I mean, the average career, is only 3 years. He's entering year 5 with the same team, so he must be doing something right. I tell you what, Juge, your case convinced me.
Wow.
I am going with the fish guy.
No way. Come on, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I guess it doesn't even really matter.
Imagine the picks we would have had to give for Watson. Come on, man.
Right.
Well,
right. No. I totally get that. Listen. That is
tapped out.
It is an all-time boneheaded move by Mickey Loomis. And the fact is, at the end of the day, he was saved from himself because Cleveland was
dumber.
Was dumber. I mean, like he ended up. It ended up not I guess it just comes down to: do you give the edge to a really dumb, a cataclysmically dumb thing that could have happened, or a very dumb thing that did happen?
Guess what? No one jumped in front of
is...
line of Mickey to make the trade for Troutman and said, "Oh, let's give away a second-round pick and a third-round pick to make sure we get ahead of Mickey to go get this shithead tight end that played for Central whatever because he's going to be a difference maker for our team." No one said, no one ever.
Dayton.
All right.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Obviously, look, it doesn't matter what I say now because it's already 3 to whatever I decide. It could be 4.
No, I voted Watson.
Could be a clean sweep. Oh, you voted Watson. Okay.
So
look, but piggybacking off of what Kevin said, I think he segues nicely into what I was going to say, and that is, this is kind of a flawed tournament, and maybe I should have mentioned this before we did it, but because you've got something that did happen going against something that didn't happen. And Ralph, I kind of alluded to it in the start and said, look, this is about the idea. It's not necessarily, and I was trying to bolster that and trying to flesh that out. And it's not necessarily, I don't know whether we should be voting on whether it happened or not, because obviously if we were voting on Mickey Loomis ideas that actually happened, like the Troutman thing happened, like, and that was way worse for the organization. The question is, I think here is, if the Deshaun Watson thing happened, if Mickey's idea was allowed to come to fruition, would that have been worse than the Troutman thing? I think that's what we have to ask ourselves, because otherwise it's not fair. Otherwise, it's again, you're comparing something that did happen that was that sucked, that Troutman thing.
I think it's cool because it's very subjective. I think it's very cool.
It is subjective.
My thing with that is the quarterbacks that we had instead were Andy Dalton, Jameis, and Derek Carr, which amounted to nothing. We didn't make the playoffs. We didn't win a playoff game. Like to me, it's sliding doors. Like watching Deshaun Watson and what he did in Cleveland. Like I'm putting all the other stuff. Like I'm not even talking about that because like I don't want to see. I never wanted to see Deshaun Watson in a Saints uniform, and I didn't want to deal with it because of the off the field stuff, right? Like we all feel that way. So let's not even go there. But strictly football, like to me, you can't say, well, look at what happened in Cleveland. That's what would have happened with the Saints. Like different playmakers, different coaches. We don't know. Okay.
But to be fair, Andrew, you called me Thursday before he went to Cleveland. You called me and you said, Ralph, you need to come to grips. The Saints think they've got him. Like it was
close. Yes.
It was incredibly close.
It was?
Yes.
All right.
It was,
well,
you
know what?
Right up until Cleveland said, F it.
We'll guarantee everything.
Give him a fully guaranteed deal. Yep.
Yeah. I don't. I'm going to go with, I think the Deshaun Watson thing would have been, had it gone through, I think it would have been a worse decision.
All right, Thomas, so first person to vote
that's
in
what
the
I'm
chat
basing it on.
Breaks the tie.
First person to vote.
That's what we're
doing.
not
I vote. Come on, man.
Make Tom
vote.
I mean, I vote and also based on the chat. So I saw more people were saying Watson. Only Jason Champagne wanted Troutman because, as he said, the moves are bigger than non-moves. And what I wrote in the chat, in my opinion, Watson trade was potentially cataclysmic. The Troutman trade didn't hurt us that much, so my vote goes for Deshaun Watson.
Wow.
Well, okay.
See,
First, the
escapes.
Troutman trade. No.
When you say Watson
I-
would have been cataclysmic, like, wouldn't you rather see what would have happened with Watson versus what we actually
No.
experienced? That's how
No.
I feel
That's
about
not-
it. Like,
that's not the problem I
what
have with that
actually
statement.
happened was awful. Like, we never
No.
made the playoffs. We never won a playoff game. So how can you tell me that whatever would have happened with Watson would have been worse? Maybe we would have lost more games and had better picks.
No,
Well,
you'd
the
still
problem I have
have
with
a
that
wrecked
statement
cap,
was
and
that-
you wouldn't have Olave. You wouldn't have.
Thank God.
You wouldn't have Olave. You wouldn't have Penning, and you wouldn't
Thank God.
have
Oh, God.
Fuaga.
We would have had Olave and Penning. Oh, God.
Fuaga.
Shield my eyes. How much worse can it get, Ralph?
Well, the issue I have with that statement was them saying that that Troutman wasn't that bad. Like that's stop.
Literally, the
It was
argument that
terrible.
Ralph
That was
just
terrible.
made to me
You're
was
sweeping
we
shit
might
under the
not
rug.
have had Penning. He literally just said those words.
All right, Thomas. Thomas announced the winner.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
All right. Let's
Thomas
see.
announced the winner.
I also like wanting to trade for Deshaun Watson more. Excellent choice, sir.
The music is very soothing.
This is crazy. We also only have time for one more bracket.
I told you, Ralph. Ralph, I told you in the behind the scenes.
I know.
I gotta go. I'm leaving at. I'm waking up at 3:30.
I am on the record as saying that Troutman is one of the worst Saints ever.
Yeah. All right. What's the next matchup, Thomas?
I'm not gonna argue with you.
All right. So the next matchup is the number 8 seed Bama Attraction versus number 9 Saved by the Phone. Let's see who it is.
Okay, so
I
this is
love
trading
rankings,
for
and these
Mac
two
Jones.
are my favorites. Wanting to trade up for Mac Jones or wanting to draft Reuben Foster.
I feel like okay, so I'll go first again. You know, Mac Jones, his first year with the Patriots was actually pretty good. And again, like, I kind of would say the same thing that I said with Deshaun Watson, which is sliding doors. Like, we don't really know. Like, Sean Payton was really into him.
That's right.
And we don't really know what he would have looked like with Sean Payton. And we don't really know if Sean Payton would have maybe been encouraged to stay if he had gotten
That's what I
his
was going
guy.
to say.
So
Yeah.
to me, Reuben Foster is way worse, because not only was he absolutely awful as an NFL player, but he would have represented not getting Ryan Ramczyk. Ryan Ramczyk was the consolation prize for not getting Reuben Foster. Can you imagine that Ryan Ramczyk, who was literally like a 4-time All-Pro, an incredible right tackle for the Saints, maybe one of the best right tackles we've ever had, that somehow we basically got him as a consolation prize. He landed into our lap because we failed to get a linebacker that was an absolute abomination and didn't last 3 years in the league. This is an easy choice. By the way, Mac Jones is still in the NFL. Reuben Foster's my pick.
Yeah, I agree with you. Reuben Foster's the pick. And by the way, I want to give Andrew
I still
credit.
can't get over
Andrew
these. I still can't
flipped
get over
out.
the AI shit. This is crazy.
Dave,
Andrew,
This is like I feel like fucking Walt Disney did our podcast.
Dave won't be able to sleep before next week.
Reuben Foster was one of those things that he kind of leaked out that the Saints really liked him. And I remember at the combine, he was the first ever player.
Kicked out.
He was kicked out of the combine. And Andrew called me and was irate. It was like, Ralph, if the Saints pick this knucklehead, I will die. He got kicked out. It's like going to a job interview and not wearing pants and they ask you to leave. And I got to go Reuben Foster.
You had one chance to make a positive impression and you got kicked out.
That's right.
So I actually have that pulled up. Foster was one of 19 collegiate linebackers to attend the scouting combine in Indianapolis, but was sent home after getting into a heated argument with a student hospital worker while receiving his medical exam at the combine. During the combine, it was announced that Foster had failed a drug test. So there you go.
We really missed out on that.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, like, you know, I feel bad because shame on him. He didn't. He wasn't in the league long enough to drug test. He got caught early on, but yeah, no, I'm not. Andrew makes a great point. You know, like Mac Jones maybe wasn't the greatest, but who knows what he could have been maybe with the Saints. Reuben Foster seems like it doesn't matter what team he went to.
Yeah.
It was going to be a problem regardless. So.
Yeah. So is it a clean sweep?
Clean sweep.
Clean
All right,
sweep.
Thomas.
Clean
Give us
sweep.
the
I'll
winner,
go Reuben
Thomas.
Foster.
All right, that was fast.
Yes, wanting to draft Reuben Foster is clearly the better one.
Wait, shouldn't
He's
Reuben
correct.
Foster have fallen off there?
What?
No,
No.
Matt, because he won.
No, he's
No.
advancing.
He's
Come
advancing.
on, man.
So
Oh wait, I voted against Reuben Foster.
Only you.
Okay,
So-
it was 3-1. So
3-1.
It was
So
a
Thomas,
clean
what's
sweep.
what's our next matchup?
Then we're powering through.
We're powering through. We got to get Dave. Dave's got to get up at like 2 a.m.
Tell people
We're
the
powering
names, Ralph. Tell people the names of the next
3:30.
matchup.
3:30.
So
First.
the next matchup is
Well, we got to do this whole side. Oh, Jesus Christ!
yeah, we got it.
Only
We
two
got 2
matchups.
more. We only got 16. So the next one is let's see. It's I love Gua. Is that you? I'm
No,
confused.
come
Thomas.
on,
You
man,
said
on the
Gua-
left.
No,
it's System Corner against
Oh,
the Belt Master. I'm going to
Yeah.
assume that's Malcolm
Can I
Butler
announce-
against Junior Gillette.
All right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which one of these two would you like? Wanting to trade for Malcolm
Oh
Butler?
my God, I love the
or
Junior Gillette
paying
one.
Junior Gillette?
I love the Junior. I'm voting to keep Junior Gillette just so I can continue to see this graphic. I'm done.
Belt
I'm out.
Master.
Yeah, that's my vote.
I mean,
And also for the name too.
I feel
Listen.
like look with System
I have no
Corner,
I have no affinity for Malcolm Butler. He was never here.
We will
He never
never
he
know
never played
what
for
that
this
could
team.
have been.
Dave's voting for the paintings, man.
We would have never known what System Corner could have been. Like, he could have been good for the Saints. We tried to get him a second time around. I don't know if you guys remember that. Like, later, a few years later, we were poking around, maybe signing him
right.
again. And, like, you know, he was kind of decent for the Titans. He wasn't awesome, but, like, if we had gotten him, we don't know what Malcolm Butler, we don't know what that experience would have been. I know exactly what the Junior Gillette experience was. And the minute he got a big
him sliding
contract,
into your
Belt,
DMs.
it was the
Yeah.
belt experience.
it was the belt experience.
I'm a little. I've got to admit, I know I was, Kevin got on me because I had some constructive criticism, even though we were getting our flowers. And look, I think I've been very positive, and I'm about Thomas, and I think all these images are great. The AI images, the movement here. I'm a little disappointed though that like the belt man, like why isn't he swinging a belt? Like why isn't that his
Yeah,
movement?
Thomas. Why couldn't
Why
you
is
make
he?
him AI?
Why is he
couldn't
blowing
you
a
make
kiss
swinging
at
a
me?
belt over his head?
Why is he Why is Gillette blowing a kiss
Well,
at me? I feel like he should be
it's not as
slapping
easy as
me with
you,
a belt.
it's not as easy as you think
As
to
someone
generate
like
those.
Dave who cracked the case.
That was my first idea too, Dave, but it's not that easy.
No, I get it. I
He's
get
kissing
it.
Mickey
You're
because
limited.
he got the money,
Limited.
right? That's what it is.
I'm with
That's
Dave.
true. That's true.
I would have liked to have seen what System Corner would have looked like. So I regret that didn't happen. I regret that Beltmaster did happen. So this is an easy choice for me. I'm going.
Well,
for
and it's very
the
sad because
Beltmaster.
there's children in the Congo that are wearing System Corner T-shirts that we had made that we could never use, and that breaks my heart. But it's got to be It's got to be the belt master. It's got to be Junior Galette.
Honestly, guys, I was torn if I should name the Galette one the belt master or cut the check Mickey.
No!
Nice.
That was a dilemma on my part.
He might be.
I mean, six of one, half a dozen of another.
All right, so Kevin, what do you vote?
This is a clean sweep.
No, I'll prevent it from being a clean sweep. I will vote System Corner. I think it just bad that we.
I mean, it could have changed everything, right, Kevin? You don't get Lattimore, you get System Corner instead. Like, it could have changed everything.
Well, you know what? Hang on. I got it mixed up in my head. I am voting Galette. Because had they signed Butler to the offer sheet, they would have had to have given up their 11th overall pick. And as we all know, giving up draft picks is verboten in my house. So
yeah, safe, consistent. I like that. I appreciate that. All right, Thomas, announce the winner.
Oh, the loser.
I had no doubt
the loser.
paying Junior Galette would win.
Junior Galette blowing us a kiss will be fun.
I have a question real quick here. I feel like we're getting confused about what to vote for. You're supposed to vote for the worst thing, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, like, Kevin, I feel like there you were kind of talking about System Corner like it could have been worse. And I feel like the one before, I don't know. I forget who said what, but it sounded like you were justifying the other one being the better of the two and picking that. The one that advances, the one that we vote for, are we all clear on this?
Right.
The one that we vote for would be the worst of the two.
Well, right. So I guess at first I was thinking, was it worse that the Saints didn't get Malcolm Butler? And I initially was going to say, yeah, but then I just thought, no. Signing Galette was worse.
No, I think this is the worst Mickey Loomis idea. So I think you have to assume that we would have gotten Malcolm Butler in this hypothetical.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, not getting him isn't part of the hypothetical. The hypothetical is that Mickey Loomis wanted him. Ergo, you've got to decide if wanting him but not getting him is worse than wanting to resign Galette. And whether it happens or not is almost irrelevant.
Well,
it's what Mickey Loomis wants either way.
Yeah, but that's a complete 180 from how you were with the first matchup with Watson and Fish Guy.
Okay, well, you know what? Ralph sucks at framing this. Then what do you want from him?
There we go. It took three matchups before they piled on the cripple and said the bracket was a terrible idea. Mark that down, Thomas. It took
Jesus.
The seating committee screwed this up.
That's right. Yeah.
Track seating.
Also mark this as a potential entry for next year's Best Podcast Award. And then also after this, add a swoosh sound so we know when you segue to the next soundbite.
All right, Thomas.
All right,
so
Jesus.
What's the next matchup?
All right, so...
Wait, we still haven't gotten to goddamn fucking... I gotta go to bed, and we still haven't heard about the little engine that could and the fucking Murder on the Orient Express. Come on. Let's go. Jeez.
We got one more matchup, Dave. One more.
All right. So two next paintings are called 2-for-1 Deal and The Penalty Machine.
Just look at these wise decisions. Trading for Marcus Davenport or signing Brandon Browner.
Ooh. Wow.
Okay. This is a good matchup. This is tough. This is a fair thing to ask.
I'm still enamored by these paintings. This is just amazing.
Yeah.
I feel like
Brandon Browner looking angry is a strong one.
I feel like this is a juggernaut matchup. I feel like this is when you look at the Wimbledon draw, which Wimbledon is going on right now, by the way.
I'm recusing myself.
Wimbledon draw, you're like, who is the floater? Who's the guy that is unseeded, that no one wants to play, and he's drawn against this guy? This is for you tennis nerds out there. This is Taylor Fritz against Giovanni and Pesci Pericard. This is the huge server that no one wants to face, that's unseeded. This is a clash of titans right here, okay? But here's my thing about Davenport. Yes, we gave up 2 picks for him. Yes, he was a disappointment. I would label him as a bust. But at times, he was awesome. At times, Davenport was the best player on the Saints defense. There was no question that where he was picked was justified based on how he played when he was healthy. The dude was an absolute beast and an animal when he was healthy. Brandon Browner, when he came to the Saints, was the most pathetic, abysmal, awful thing I have ever seen in my life. I have never witnessed a corner be more unplayable than him. He was so bad that he tackled, hit, and punched every receiver that he could just to slow them down so they wouldn't catch a 50-yard touchdown pass against them. Instead, they would catch a 25-yard pass where they were interfered with, but they would catch it anyway, and then they would fall down, but like at least they wouldn't score a touchdown, but sometimes they did anyway. So my point here is Brandon Browner is the worst thing I've ever seen in a Saints uniform. There is not a single player that you can name that has ever been worse than Brandon Browner. He is the worst thing I've ever seen. There is nothing in this tournament that compares. Brandon Browner is my answer.
All right. Well, and all of that, I have to say against everything Andrew said. I agree with everything, absolutely everything that Andrew said. I have no notes. That was absolutely perfect. However, the Marcus Davenport draft pick had Brandon Browner was gone. He was here for a year and he was gone. That was it. He fucked us for that. What was it? 2012, and that was it. He was here and he was gone. As quick as he was here, poof, he was gone.
More like 16.
Marcus Davenport was here for many years. Marcus Davenport cost us many draft picks that we could have used to do other things with. As far as like you want to compare on-field performance, yeah, Brandon Browner was absolutely worse than Marcus Davenport.
An NFL
as far
record.
as
He literally here's a stat for you that year, David. I'm gonna pile on here. Not only were the Saints the most penalized secondary in NFL history, they also had the worst quarterback rating against them in NFL history. And here's the catch. When you commit a penalty, it doesn't go against quarterback rating. So they were able to pull off like absent each other, which is like if you're interfering with someone, maybe your rating's a little better because you're destroying dudes and hitting them and preventing touchdowns from happening because you're committing penalties recklessly, but somehow they were also getting burned to shreds and yielding the highest rating in NFL history despite the fact that they were breaking penalty records.
The only good thing Brandon Browner ever did was he wanted to beat up a New Orleans media member.
Impossible to fathom.
Who was the media member that he wanted to beat up, Andrew?
Lions yelling.
Brandon Browner.
Lions yelling.
Yeah, he wanted to beat up Lions.
Again, I am not arguing that in his
I'm voting Marcus Davenport. I have to go to the bathroom.
There's no way. How
again,
can you pick Davenport over Browner? Browner is literally the worst player in Saints history. Like
it's not just
no one worse. Like Heath Schuler is maybe the only guy you could put up against him.
Because this is about Mickey's decision and how much did Mickey give up to get Marcus Davenport. So like, yeah, obviously Brandon Browner, like on the field again, and this is only for one season. This is a throwaway season. 2012, you can fucking throw it away. I don't even look at it when I look at the stat sheet, when I look at the Saints. Like 2012, F it. It might as well have been the Katrina year. It might as well be 2005 for all I'm concerned. 2012 is a throwaway. And so, yeah, Brandon Browner was here for one season to wreak havoc on our 2012 season and to be terrible. But Marcus Davenport was here for multiple years. He didn't do great. He didn't do well for all those years. He was a first-round draft pick. They gave up a lot to get. They missed out on other draft picks to trade up for him. I'm sorry, but I think Marcus Davenport overall was a worse decision and did more damage overall to the organization.
He had 21 and a half sacks as a Saint.
Wait, how many years?
He had 5 years.
He was Andrew's defensive MVP one year.
Sacks? How many sacks a year does that average out to?
Like 5. Yeah.
Okay, and he was a first. And where did he get drafted?
He had 9 sacks in 2021, which was his best year. There's no question he had injuries. No question. Here's the thing. Where was he drafted, Ralph? He was drafted like 13th overall.
18th.
I can't believe you're still arguing against this.
So
I really can't
my thing with Davenport is that if he had been picked 18th and there wasn't the other pick involved, if he was just picked 18th without you would have been he'd be like Andrus Pete. You know what I'm saying? You would have been you would have not liked him.
He was picked 14th.
But you wouldn't have been nearly as angry. You would have been you would have compared him to Andrus Pete.
Yeah, it's tough for me because I feel like they took a big swing and they needed that Davenport swing to win the Super Bowl to help them get over the hump, and he didn't. But Brandon Browner was so bad, and the Saints gave him a decent amount of money. And by the way, he's in prison as we're doing this podcast. Just so we know. So I have to.
I was hoping my opponent was going to mention the defense was.
So I went Browner. So it's 2-2. So Thomas, you break the tie.
All right. Before I break the tie, thanks to Oppenheimer for $10 donation with a message. Time for another victory lap. Can you say dynasty? Thanks, Oppenheimer. So I'm not gonna break the tie. Our chat is gonna break the tie, and from what I can see on our chat,
go with who that Saints fan. He seems very rational.
I mean,
his answer.
I mean, everyone's rational. It's a clean sweep for Marcus 2 first. So 2-for-1 deal wins this one. Sorry, Andrew.
All right.
Well, I want to just say what who that Saints fan says. Browner is the worst player. Davenport is the worst decision. This is the Mickey Loomis worst decision bracket.
All right, Dave. Thomas, you can announce the winner of this bracket, and Dave, since you have to get up at 3 a.m, you can go to bed. Thank you, sir.
All right.
I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Good night. Love you guys.
I also like trading for Marcus Davenport more. Excellent choice, sir.
Here's the thing.
This AI thing is
it's off the charts.
I love it.
Off the charts. I really feel like, and I'm proven wrong all the time, as Andrew will chime in just now, but I feel like this AI bracket that Thomas has created, he's gonna cut this up and we're gonna do video. I think Saints fans are gonna love this because they hate Mickey Loomis, and you get AI. I think this has a chance to go viral. I'm just gonna let it. So that's half the bracket. We'll do the other half the bracket next week.
I feel like we need to do it how Pardon My Take does it. We put out a tweet, and for each thing on the bracket, and let people vote, and let's see what they do.
The problem is I tried to do it, Dave, because I did it in the years before, but there's a very short character limit on Twitter, so I don't know how to how to insert it.
Well, wait, do we need to spring for the? Can't you pay for the higher character limit?
I'm not giving it.
I don't think so. I think it's only for polls. It's for polls, Dave. I don't think you can bypass that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And then also Kevin doesn't want to give you Elon Musk
any money.
piss on that guy if he was on fire inside one of his Teslas.
Oh Lord.
All right, so thank you, Dave.
Kevin hates Elon Musk as every ex-user.
Right.
All right. Yeah. No, I am going to get out of here.
Kevin,
Next
you're going to
Tuesday,
give us
I'll
a
be
look.
back home. Ready to
You're
go.
going to give us
Oh,
a
wait,
love
no,
train
no.
update?
I'm sticking around for the love. Okay, hold on.
The love train.
I'm leaving after the love update.
Thanks for watching the Saints Happy Hour. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, then find us wherever you get your podcast, and finally go to saintshappyhour.com and become a patron of the best Saints podcast on earth.